there are around 40% of people who are in student loan debt who didn't even get the degree. And so
Oh,
having that
wow.
hard conversation about, is a four-year degree the right thing is important.
Let's talk beyond scholarships. What are some other things? Because I know obviously scholarships are not the only way to get your
Yes.
college paid for. What are some other ways that we can pursue?
Yeah, I definitely want parents and students really thinking through first, is a four-year college the right decision? Because there are around 40% of people who are in student loan debt who didn't even get the degree. And so
Oh,
having that
wow.
hard conversation about, is a four-year degree the right thing is important. There's a lot of people who are highly successful in the trades by getting a certificate, different ways to get an education. So just really asking those questions early on, that's important. And then I always encourage people to look at, community college. A lot of states now have free community college. So maybe that's a good option to get your first 2 years completely paid for. And it can help you transition out of the house to not have to pay for housing and all those different expenses that can pop up. So consider that. When you're in high school, doing dual enrollment is a great option to knock some of those credits out in advance. A lot of
Mhm.
times, dual enrollment is free or for a super low cost. So consider that early on, because if you can get an entire year done before you go to a four-year program, that's a lot of money saved. And also, it helps prevent taking longer than 4 years, which is a whole different conversation and can cost a lot of money. I also encourage people to look at tuition assistance programs. So, a lot of employers now are paying for college tuition entirely in exchange for you working for that company. But it's not even an exchange. You actually still get paid a paycheck plus get your degree for free. So I think that's a really exciting wave of the future, is
Yeah.
encouraging kids to look into those programs because you can build experience, you can make money and get a degree.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times you get to see if that field is really the field that you want to be in and
Yep.
pursue. So yeah, that is a great
Yeah,
way.
multiple opportunities. And then, of course, looking at scholarships. And when you look at scholarships, look at the different merit based scholarships at a school. So, a lot of schools, they're not created equally. A lot of people look at the sticker price and they think that, like, oh, this is what the school's going to offer. But you can really dig in and see, what automatic scholarships does that school have based on grades and test scores? And what's the likelihood that I'm going to get financial aid? Most schools have a net price calculator on their website, and that's a great place to start. You can type in your financial information, your test scores, and grades, and they can basically give you a better idea of what you'll actually pay at that school versus what's just the sticker price. And I think that's so important when you're making college decisions to have a better idea of what the situation is going to look like for your family.
Yeah. So, okay, like, let's take my family. We're looking at my daughter possibly going to a university. And now we're like, okay, what do we do? Where do we start? Who do we talk to? Do we go to the admissions counselor? And is there typically a person at a college who is going to hold you by the hand and say, let me walk you through this. Let me walk you through these scholarships. Let me walk you through these grants. Let me walk you through all of these, CLEP tests, whatever it is. Is there a person who will help you do that typically at a college? Or is it just something that, like, okay, here you go, good luck, and figure it out?
Well, it varies so much between colleges. Some colleges are better about walking people through it, some are not. A lot of them are not. A lot of this process is going to be up to you as the
Uh-huh.
parent and as the student to really take ownership of it. The financial aid officer at your school, so there's a financial aid office. They typically deal with all the money stuff, scholarships. If you want to talk to them about what scholarships are available at the college, I'd recommend starting at the financial aid office. And the admissions office can point you in the right direction to the right
Mhm.
people. But financial aid is usually where you go for money type things. But I'm going to be really honest. You really have to be on top of this stuff yourself. And I
Mhm.
know it's overwhelming. There are independent college counselors that you can hire to help you through the process. But I mean, my mom and I worked through it ourselves. My mom has a 2-year degree, and she was a hairstylist and had a hair salon in our home. So I often encourage parents, like, you don't have to be some PhD or master's
Right.
graduate to be exactly what your students need. My mom literally had a hair salon in our home, and both my brother and I got full ride scholarships. We both got master's degrees. He mastered in biomedical engineering. And it's like my mom helped us walk through that and
Yeah.
encouraged us. But you really have to be on top of it, especially in the money space. I was reading all my financial aid letters, I was reading all my scholarship. documents and award letters and making sure all the money went to the right places. And I know that can sound overwhelming, but it's worth the time and effort. And especially when you can do it together as a team, it's a really great bonding experience.
Yeah. Oh, so fun. I look forward to doing all of these things because whether it's college or just preparing our kids for leaving our home, and moving on to the next phase of life, us as their parents, helping walk them through the process of what next I think it's such a privilege that we have. It's a responsibility that we have, but it's also a privilege that we have to be able to prepare our kids. I mean, it's what we've been doing, right? The whole time is preparing them for life as adults. We're not raising children, we're raising adults. And so preparing them to be the adults that God created them to be, is a high calling for us. Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.